Hey guys, it's Amber, and I'm getting ready to work on my day 3 story. I've got some supplies set up here, and I'm still struggling with how exactly I want to do it. I'm still working on a lot of it, but what I've kind of gathered here, I've printed out an enlargement of my kitty here as I'm setting up the tree. I've got this awesome sparkly die cut here that says around the tree, which I think will fit perfectly in here. The holes of the page will be here. I'm not even sure if I'm going to add much except for maybe like a couple little chipboard stars or sparkly somethings around there. I'm going to leave it real simple, but I kind of love the way. So I take great pride in how I pack up our tree every year. So you can't really see the whole thing, but I laid it out in a big circle around. And you can kind of see there, and it went from biggest to smallest, and I'd already put in one layer, had to walk away for a minute, came back, and he was like, yes, the tree is out. My cats love our tree. So I came back and he was like kind of framed within here, and I love the photo. I have a similar one that I used for this star die cut page where he's got a slightly different look. But I just really felt like this photo needed to be ginormous. And while I love this star die cut, I feel like it's a little too small in comparison to this huge photo. So I'm not going to quite use it yet. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pair it with this pattern paper. I'm thinking I might put 2 4x6 photos here with a circle in the middle. That will be this free digital download that Allie gave us. I got stuff all over my desk here. And I might frame it with some of these die cuts from this Heidi Swapp. Got this pulled out, got my chipboard trees. I've also got this card pulled out potentially for journaling. But I'm like way far away from any kind of construction. Right now, what I want to do is play with my stamps. And I have this inspiration from Heidi Swapp to use on her stamp set, this light bulb stamp here. And to use this stamp here to like make it look like it's glowing. So I printed myself out 4 of these in advance so that I just went ahead and had some in case I screwed up. I could practice or pick the best one. But I think I want to do a red and a green light bulb and kind of have them go in 2 different directions with the sparkle. And then if I don't do the 4x8 card for journaling, if I punch this out with my 4-inch punch, then I was thinking I could do on transparency, like a swinging journaling that would hang over it. So that's a thought. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I keep my ink colors in an album. So I've got Pulled Aside Barn Door and this Lumberjack Plaid. My plan is to make the inks like 2-tone. By basically I'll stamp the light with Barn Door and then edge it a little bit on the outside to make it more dimensional. That's a Heidi Swapp trick. I'm going to make the base of the light bulb pumice stone. And then I actually kind of need to pick a color for the sparkle. Maybe like one of these later pinks, but I don't have a good like red pink, so I'm not sure yet. And then for the greens, I picked the Rustic Wilderness because if you hold it up to the paper, which I've buried over there, it's an excellent green. And then I also picked Bundled Sage and Peeled Paint, which also go really great with that tree paper. So I'm going to experiment. I'm excited to see how it comes out. And we shall see how it comes out. But boy, do this year we have a story about the lights. We changed our lights this year and it became a whole deal. I still don't have my tree done and it's the 5th of December. So it's a whole story. So the fact that this free download from Allie came out was kind of perfect because this year I actually have a story of the lights. So I'm going to probably pop you on fast forward while I work on this, and we'll see where we end up. I hope it comes out like I'm envisioning. Okay, friends, so I'm only going to do a little bit of the stamping on camera here for you guys, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what I was doing. So the light bulbs here that I'm doing come in 2 different pieces so you can add the different colors, and then I also wanted to add that little bit of the shine stamp as well to make it look like they were, on. So I definitely made some, not necessarily mistakes, but like definitely had to play around a little bit to figure out how I wanted things to go. one of the things that I did is when I was looking at my sparkle stamps, I realized that I got them mixed up. So the very first one that I did had the wrong stamp. So as soon as I was done with that red one, I was like, crap, well, this one's done. So I didn't even bother continuing. So now I moved on to another block, and you can see I'm working on that green. I was actually really happy with the color blending that I did on that one. And so then here I'm moving on to this red, and just trying to swipe the ink around the outside a little bit and blend it a tiny bit, and it came out fairly well, but it was a little splotchy, so I wanted to kind of fill in just a little bit more. And of course I got ink like all over my inker there, so I just needed to clean out the stamps a lot in between uses because I was switching colors and everything in between. So there I used like a lighter pink color, and I actually really enjoyed these. I knew I needed to figure out what I was doing, but I wanted to experiment a bit. Okay friends, so I did lots of stamping off camera without you, but it was kind of just to give you an idea of what I was going to be doing. So I really actually liked the way these came out. I was trying to play with that ink blending, and the red came out more solid because I had to stamp it twice, but well, I do really like this one. I played a little bit more with the darker green. They were just a little bit, I kept trying to angle them more, get more height, and they ended up like right next to each other. But then I ended up deciding to go with a more monochromatic green. I think it's gonna look really cool on here with two photos, and it's gonna kind of overlay on top of them, but the colors ended up looking really good, and so I'm really happy with that. That's the peeled paint and the rustic wilderness, a little bit of the bundled sage here, and then a teeny bit of shabby shutters, and then the pumice stone for the base. So like I said, really happy with that. And then once I got my actual light bulbs figured out, then I went in and layered. So I have one from the, I gotta find it here, my new Kelly Parkey set. This is like Too Much Christmas, so I have Trying to Make Magic Happen under the Mary. This is from Heidi Swapp stamps last year. It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. That's from this here. 'Tis the Season. And Oh What Fun is from one of her other stamp sets this year that I got. So that's where the Mary's from. And this is from the set, the Oh What Fun. I just wanted something else to kind of help finish off that like grouping, and I wanted to be able to add like another layer of green in there. So really happy with how they came out actually. So I'm gonna use my punch to crop that out, but I'm gonna work on that tomorrow because it's late, and unfortunately I didn't get any further on my project. But yeah, like I said, pretty pleased with it, and can't wait to finish working on the project on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll have a day 3 video for you soon. Okay friends, so we are back at it. Good news, got the rest of my lights in the mail, finished the tree. Now I have to decorate it, but that will be a tomorrow story. It's terrible. So got some photos printed out, found some cardstock here that I think I'm going to use to make my flip-ups. So I need to just pretty much get started on that. So that will be my first part of construction, to see if that's still how I want to go with it. So I'm just going to get these trimmed, see if I like how they are framed. I need to use my awesome 4-inch punch. This thing is ginormous. I did invest in this, but it's pretty cool, and I'll be able to pop this bad boy right out. And then if I like how these look and how the circle looks on there, then I will get to trimming these out to make some flip ups. And if I do that, I will have probably one more photo. And then I think the plan is that I will have this swing for journaling. So that's what I think the plan is. So let me get cropping. Okay, friends, so we're going to get started here. I apologize, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit as I cut out some footage. But there you go, I'm using that big 4-inch punch to pop out that circle. It works. It looks so good. I love it. I'm really proud of that one. I'm not always a good stamper, but I really am happy with that. So you can see I'm arranging my photos. I struggled with the placement of them. I really wanted to use the one of my boyfriend, but the way it's cropped, I kind of had to like cover so much of the tree and just didn't really work right. Like I ended up tucking it on the inside and just using a photo of our tree on the outside instead. And now I'm getting ready to work on the flip out portion. I'm going to crop out all the part with the adhesive, so now I'm sticking it down. I'm going to grab my large trimmer and trim that out the full length of the paper. And then I'm going to fold it so that the photo is on the outside. For some reason this one got a little crooked. I don't really know exactly what happened, but luckily it was on the bottom half, so it's covered. I'm just using my tool to help get a nice crease, and then I'm going to trim that off with my scissors. And then I will just check it on the paper to make sure I'm happy with the color and how it looks, and then I will do the same with the right one. But since you've seen that process, I'm just gonna kind of get started and then skip through it. And then I'm going to get started on my journaling. So for my journaling, which you'll see here in a moment, I created a 4-inch circle and then did my text. And for the first one, I did not leave myself enough room for the brad to swing down, so I had to redo it. And I just kind of wanted to give you a second to see that. So I'm just punching that out and seeing how that looks. Luckily, I was able to add the same piece of paper back through the printer. And so now I'm finally getting ready to put everything together. So I'm going to go ahead and get my holes punched before I can start gluing things down. And I'm going to do the same thing with the adhesive on the back. I just add it to the corners. It's going to be pretty secure because it's, you know, the double-sided adhesive, score tape. So I'm peeling off those little backer pieces and I'm just kind of lining everything up visually. And I'm doing the other side. And making sure that everything looks centered as best I can. And it kind of went down a little crooked, so I'm just peeling it back up and popping it back down. So next I accidentally grabbed the wrong one there. Next I'm getting ready to deal with the journaling and the brad. So I looked at 2 different star brads, some copper ones, star ones that match the tops of the trees on the pattern paper, which is why I really leaned with them, but they were a little too small. And so I poked it, even though I was holding it with my thumb and lifting up, I poked it a little too low. So I actually just was able to go a little bit higher and cover it with the brad star. And the way the star swivels out of the way, it actually completely covers it on the back end. So luckily it wasn't a costly mistake. So that worked out really well. So you can see I'm just poking up about an eighth to a quarter inch higher and poking a sparkly gold brad through it, and that works really great. So I'm only going to put adhesive on the left side of the circle and a little bit on the photo because I wasn't sure exactly where I needed to put it. It's not down the middle because that would be on the pattern paper. So I just added some to the outside of the circle and one to the outside of the photo, and I'm just removing the backings and setting that down. And I'm just checking the swivel. I'm trying to decide if I want to add a photo tab. I do know I want to add some labels on the inside that have dates that say the date the tree went up, the date the lights came, the date the lights got put on the tree, and the date that it actually gets decorated. I think that'll be fun. So I'm going to do that on the left side. And there you can see I got a chipboard number stuck down and way off camera. I didn't film any of it. I used 1/8 inch foam tape to pop up that around the tree. So it has a little bit of dimension. So I really love that. And I wanted to tie in the left-hand side a little bit somehow. So I used one of the chipboard trees and a little gold star on top from the puffy sticker set. So I'm really happy with how this came out overall. And I can't wait to get on to day 4 soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.